the outset, I would like to thank Mr. Anurag Batra and his team of organizers, Mr. Mohit Chopra, Vice President, Facility Management, and his producer of the conference, Savi Chauhan. Both of them, the latter two, have been very interactive with us, and I complimented them for what all of you have already done, for having selected a panel which is all military. And this military one is a little special, because 3 of us are from the Army and 2 of us are from the Navy. So it's going to be a sea-land battle, what you can call the amphibious operations. And you know the importance of amphibious operations. India has a coastline of 7,500 kilometers. And we have to defend that. And now we have to go project ourselves on the African coast and the South China Sea coast. And that's very encouraging. Now, it's an honor for all of us to be together. I think adequate introduction has been given. But I'll just add a line in respect of each of my respected panelists. Firstly, Major General Soy, he last superannuated in the appointment of Commander, Junior Leaders, and Commando Wing. So we also have a special commando with us. So that is going to be very encouraging again. Next we have Colonel Inderjeet Singh. He is from the Corps of Signals, and he has a tremendous experience of the Army as well as in the civil world. He is a cybersecurity expert, and you can go to him for all the blockchain and other cybersecurity affairs. And yes, I think it will be consultancy, as someone said little while back. So he's among the top 40 blockchain think tanks in India. Lieutenant Commander Ajit Yadav, he's a naval officer with a technical background. He's from the architecture and the ship-making field in the Navy. And he has an experience of 23 years, including the corporate life. And he's a product of the IIT and IIFT Delhi. And Lieutenant Shukla, Indian Navy. Apart from his total 17 years experience, professional experience, he's a Naval Marco. Naval Marco is a special commando. So those of you know, so we got a very good team which can launch operations. To add to myself, as you have heard, I am from the artillery, and I think Indian artillery can teach a lesson or two to the Russian artillery also, how to win battles. As Stalin had said, the artillery is the god of war. I think the present lord of Russian military has forgotten that. Okay, now our subject for the evening, the last session, and last session means you got to carry out the rear rally and rally them to come forward. So, cultivating communication and collaboration between facility and security professionals. It's an inaugural event of the BW business world. But talking of communication, putting it at the simplest form, you realize the importance of communication only when you go for your morning walk, particularly we in our retired life, and your wife tells you to bring 1 loaf of bread and 6 eggs, and you come back with a packet with 1 egg and 6 loaves of bread. And then the communication will never break down again. So that is it. Facility management also, I would relate it with what in the military we use it as administration, because it is all encompassing. Administration is very important, ladies and gentlemen, but we only realize it when your vehicle is broken down on a remote road in an operational area and you do not know even how to change a stepney. Then you realize the importance of administration. And that is the importance of facility management, and in today's world, the importance of security. It starts from your home and extends all over the world over. So now, in our own thing, as we see, it's a fast-paced fourth industrial revolution which has dawned upon us, And in this, the way facility management has taken off, its management, its effective management is very, very important. And in the Indian context, the Indian facility management industry has witnessed significant growth in recent years. It is predicted to be at 148 plus US billion dollars this year, and in a 5-year framework to climb up to 212.12 US billion dollars by 2029. So that's a CAGR of about 7.37%. Now that's a very significant one. Now buildings are getting smarter, technology is getting sophisticated, and this is where India is catching up, and catching up in a very big way. And it is going to give us the importance to the facility management in the companies and the organizations for its effective management of it, to avoid business disruption and effectively leverage the data insights. I can put it in simplest terms. We have learned it now from the COVID and the Ukraine-Russian war. What's the importance if there's a breakdown of supply chain system? And you can now imagine yourself sitting in the summers in this hall and the air condition has broken down. And then the curses start flowing. So that is it. Now, the infrastructure development and market is growing exponentially, be it airport, roads, your other infrastructural spaces, your hotels, hospitals. So they are all coming up in a big way. You go out of your home and you find that you're getting delayed because the road work is on and the deviation has to take place. But that is the beauty of this modern India, the India of the last about 10, 15 years. Now, also we have grown very well strongly in the investments of the tourism sector, which is giving us a lot of resources, a lot of there to offer. You see, the Indian market has to offer wonderful, competitive workforce in skill and labor costs. So that is our biggest asset. And also, outsourcing hub. But at the same time, we face challenges. And those challenges are in ensuring qualitative standards to be met as per the Western world. Also, this standardization has to be regulatory compliance. So there we have to catch up, also in the technology. And I'm sure we are at it already, because our focus on smart cities, green buildings, industrial corridors, and technology integration is right up there. Now, having said this much, now the importance is that we need dedicated facility management teams, facility managers. They are very important because they are the ones who are the link of communication and collaboration with your security professionals. And who are the security professionals? I mean, we are sitting here today safe because there is security being provided to us. If it is not there, then many of us may not even turn up in today's world. So that is what security professionals' standing is there in organization and companies. So there is a great need to have an intimate communication and collaboration skill between the two, and also with the HR of any organization. The hard and soft services have to be combined along with the security services. The ESG norms, that is your environment, social, and governance, they are very important in today's world. Having said this much, what I will do best now, since I have had my share of firing all the artillery shells, I will now shoot the first question to my infantry friend, who is also from the Naga regiment, and he has a standing today in the civil world. He was with the CAPC, and now he has been a mentor, commentator, on defense expert on TV channels. So, General Soy, the first question I would put to you, what are the linkages and the importance of coordination and communication between facility management and security management?
Thank you so much, sir. And I think I must thank Business World, Dr. Anurag Batra and Mohit Savi to highlight these two sectors, security and facility management. In fact, they were slightly getting very less attention, hardly any attention. And today, the way we have discussed, I must say that it has been quite an eye-opener for me also. And in this scenario, when we discuss of the coordination and communication, before we understand facility and security, facility has been discussed in detail since morning, whether it is a real estate, training, selection of manpower, data, futuristic facility system. I mean, everything has been discussed, and it was quite a learning experience for me, and I think for each one of us. And with the distinguished speaker, they shared their experience and knowledge. And I was quite surprised the way facility management is evolving in the modern, whether it is the use of data, use of AI, use of technology, to save on cost and save on the, to improve the productivity. We all know, I will not go into the details of what facility management does. Sir has already brought out the way facility management is going. Facility industry is growing by leaps and bounds. By 2029, the way where we will be providing employment to the people from rural areas, and so is the security industry. Both industries are, say, part and parcel of us in day-to-day life. Wherever we are, whether we are living in our house, it is a facility, whether your maid is coming or housekeeping staff is coming, somebody is collecting your garbage, or somebody is cleaning your lift, we are paying a monthly maintenance, or in the offices, in the hotels, or in the MNCs, in the factories, wherever we are, both security and facility is part and parcel of our life. At times we don't realize it, we don't give importance. That's why I'm thanking Business World to highlight this, these two sectors to get some importance for these two elements. So as far as facility is concerned, I'll not discuss much, but the security is concerned, when we talk of the security, because facility has been discussed in detail, security is also provide the secure environment so that all of us, as General SVP had mentioned, that we are here sitting comfortably because there is security around us. There is security at the entrance. There is security around. There is a secure environment. And what enables both these things, enables the core team, the people to work comfortably, to give their best to what they should be doing. What they should be doing, whether it is a scientist, whether it is a product manager, whether it is in the factory or worker, they should be able to give their best, and these two things help behind the scene. Behind the scene, they're there, so that there's a comfortable environment is there. Whether General SVPs had mentioned hard tasks or soft tasks, hard tasks are like directly which are visible of the cleaning, air conditioning, generator, light, maintenance, plumbing, lighting, and soft tasks are which create the environment, like what we see, chandeliers, beautiful carpet, landscaping, decorations, all these things are there. Both matter a lot in improving the productivity. And when we talk of the linkages and the coordination, while the security is eyes and ears of the management, top management, they are the eyes and ears of the top management, the facility people, they are the eyes and ears of the security. They are everywhere, whether in the garden, whether in the room, whether in the housekeeping or the lift or in the backyard or anywhere and everywhere they are there. And they are the one, the electrician will be able to, if the security guy sees a loose wire hanging, he calls the electrician to get the thing so that to prevent a fire hazard. A similar thing is there if a facility person sees something untoward happening, something fishy happening, or somebody moving with a suspicious body language, he informs the security people. They are something like security people, again, like police cannot be everywhere, the security people are there, and similarly, security people also cannot be there in every facility. They are the facility people who will provide all the inputs and information. That is why it is very, very important to understand the communication and coordination between these two, and they are, and that's why there is a change in the scenario. Most of the security companies are doing dual tasks. They are providing the facility as well as they are providing the security also. That is a total change, as well as the safety also. All three factors are taken care of by one single window. User also prefers that thing. So that also helps in the better communication, better coordination, and better employment, and saving on cost, saving on efforts, and improving the productivity. Whether now, how to do that, whether to have a control room where both have access, there's a facility people should know in case of any crisis, whom to contact, who is the person to engage, and similarly, security people should know where the maintenance cell, what is the contact number, is there anything wrong which need to, like I just mentioned about the loose wire hanging, then they should know whom to contact and where to do it. So it is very, these are all small little examples. What I am saying is that the linkages and the coordination is very, very important between these two. And that's why we have seen the transformation. Most of the security companies are also, or facility management companies are also providing security. Security companies are also handling the facility. So that all cuts down the cost, improves the productivity, and also helps in the improvement of the comfort level of the user.
Thank you, Jan Soy. Now, I will address the next question to Lieutenant Commander Ajit Yadav. He is from the facility management. So I'd like to put to you that in the light of infrastructure expansion taking place in India, what new strategies do you envision as facility managers in the industry, in the facility management industry?
Very well, sir. Thank you so much. First of all, just wanted to mention that both the generals, respected generals, have already covered the entire topic of facility and security, and they have pointed out each and every aspect of it so well. And I think every one of us here understands it so very well, and they have brought it out, even the minor of the nuances between the facility and security so well that it covered everything.
Ajit, allow me just to intervene. I gave a talk somewhere in Bangalore, and the next gentleman came. He was a very distinguished speaker. So he said, the Major General has spoken. He has spoken the general points, and now I'm going to make the major points. So you please continue with the major points now.
I think the major as well as general, both the points have been covered, sir. Very well, sir. So coming to the question, I mean, yes, of course, as you very rightly pointed it out, today's facility management industry is at 148 billion USD in 2024, CAGR more than 7%. To 212 USD in 2029. So definitely there is a huge scope for facility management to grow. Talking about the strategies, I mean, we need to look at, everybody is very well aware what facility management is about. So starting with the basic concept of 3 Ps, people, place, and procedure or process. So definitely, a facility manager has to strategize all these policies, procedures around these 3 Ps. Each facility management team definitely should be looking into the vision and the vision statement for the department, which should be aligning to the organization goals as well. So citing an example, the vision of facility management definitely should foresee what kind of workplaces we need to have going forward in the future. That should be the vision statement, and the mission statement for the department should align the each and every steps to be taken to achieve that goal. So that's the 3P definitely, which have been talked a lot about facility management. Adding up to the sustainability part, that is something which is now the focus is on the facility team to look into the facility the sustainability aspects, the green building aspects, the ESG part. Every company now is more keen to look into energy conservation, water conservation, reduced carbon footprints, lesser reduction in reduction in the wastages. So these are the CSR activities. So and coupled with definitely technology is another aspect, another pillar, what we need to consider when we are looking into facility management. Uh, Technology today, IoT and AI-driven tools are definitely very much required for efficient and effective facility management in any of the organization. Uh, the basically collating of data is what is very much essential. Unless and until we have any kind of data available for any work being executed in an organization, we can't do any kind of analysis and we can't perform any kind of continuous improvement plans unless we have a proper data collated for all these purposes. So definitely technology here brings in a lot of focus again in going forward in the future. Citing again a small example of office space utilization. Today, after COVID, it's a hybrid work system. Gone are the days for the traditional office space. Now, hot desking is the in thing. How to do a hot desking is a big challenge unless you have a proper tool to manage it well. How many people are coming to office on a daily basis, various analysis. So that data set which is required, definitely there are tools which are required to gather these data. Once you have the data, you can analyze and can improve your processes and procedures. Another a very small example of putting up sensor lights, sensors, AI-enabled sensors which can gauge the presence of people in the office, to adjust the lighting as well as the temperature within the office spaces. So these are smaller examples what definitely we can look into for improving the effectiveness of the facility management going forward in the future. Not the least, yes, after all, cost. We are a support function, and yes, everybody agrees and accepts that we are a cost center. But leveraging of our affect our facility managers areas. I mean, their deep understanding of the day-to-day functioning of an office, identifying the bottlenecks, the issues wherein the improvement can take place, so that if a facility manager is taking care of very effectively, we will be definitely affecting the bottom line very well, and we will be helping the core business to reduce the cost. So that's something which adds up to the whole scenario. We can definitely look into optimizing our cost centers as well by looking into sustainability, AI-enabled tools, and improving our continuous process.
Thank you, Ajit. Now, with the little strategic vision and the working part of it, which Lieutenant Commander Yadav has shown us, I'll go to Colonel Inderjeet. You see, in the context of smart buildings and the IoT integration, what strategies should be employed to ensure a secure and resilient infrastructure? And how can facility and security teams work together effectively in this regard?
Being in the corporate. So, we were talking about the data since morning. Let's make it more interesting because it's otherwise going to be a monologue. So what's your crown jewel in the company? We're talking of data. What's your crown jewel? In any facility management, we're talking about data gathering, everything. Anyone? It's the data itself. That's what you're bothered about, number one. Second, Asha was telling about you got 315, cities where you have the picture halls, right? 115 cities, and how many? Okay. All are internet connected, right? That's the beauty. And we're all data hungry. We're all connected on the internet. What's the peak hour of movies when maximum people come in? Friday evening, 7 o'clock. All your doors are locked. Nobody can get in. All your doors are locked. Nothing is happening. You have the complete rush standing on the gates. What is it? Sabotage? Anybody else? Anybody else? 115 cities, that's right, figure. 115 cities, No one is able to get into the PVRs. Every door is locked. What's that? Welcome to the world of cyber attacks. And this is what is all possible. Second, most of us from the hotel industry, morning peak hours when people have to catch all the flights, and you find all the hotel doors locked, right? Nothing, nobody can move in, nobody can move out. All your data logged. You have a ransomware attack. That's another way of the cyber attack. So we've never been talking of the cybersecurity aspect of it, of the facility management, but this is the most important aspect going forward because this is a facet we never thought is very important. Okay? We have CCTV cameras, all of us, in the offices. How many have checked that the password is the same when it was installed by your IT guy or the third-party vendor? Anyone? Only one. How many of you? You can show of hands. How many? Only one? The rest all never checked. And believe you me, all your data, if you're not changing your passwords, it's all there on the internet. Go to the shodan.io site. Try and put the IP address of your location. You'll find all your cameras, everything happening. I can show you here. So that's the kind of vulnerability you are in. While we are talking, every 11 seconds there is a cyber attack which is happening. Okay? And these cyber attacks are not the one that it just happened and you guys just shrug and okay, you are back on the work. You're going to be, one, you will pay up money because you never thought of the security aspect of the data what you are collecting. You have facial recognitions, you have IoT devices, you are collecting everything. Are you bothered about the security of that data? It would be sold in the dark web and you will have to pay because you don't have the backups to really take care of the things. And once you're out, it's like maybe that 60 days you're without the business, you're out of the business. That's the kind of effect. Average, it says, 9 days, 21 days, people have been 60 days out of the business, and I'm not talking hypothetical. Let's, you can go into the net and start finding the figures. This is all factual figures which are there, right? And these are the kind of threats we are in, and the facility management, especially we talk of the IoT devices, we collected huge amount of data without, knowing what we are going to do with the data and how we are going to, safeguard those data and what is the life cycle of that data. For example, some camera is not working, we just say, okay, put a new one. Have you taken out that camera from your facility system? No. And if I ask you, how many of the IoT sensors you have in your facility? It's a bigger challenge or a bigger question to answer. And how many of you do an audit of your ISO audit? Not the cyber audit, the ISO audit of your organization. The ISO audit, in fact, is starting from Excel.
What I'd like to give is, especially in terms of access control, is CPTED, sir. Like crime prevention through environmental designing, that both the, Lieutenant Commander Yadav sir and Colonel sir was also talking about. When we are providing facility in a way that it is also, doing the work for, aesthetics, in terms of, looking, beautifying the facility. And again, it is also providing the security to the, visitors, not just visitors, I would say the employees and the, top management also comes into the role play, in most of the head offices. So that is a very good example. Again, the second example is that of visitor management system, sir. When visitors are coming and we are, providing them facilities, they are being greeted, they are being asked to sit. At the same time, being into security, we are ensuring that, the correct person is coming, the data is correct, and the person whom he has approached, he has got the notification, and then they are meeting the right person, and they are, going within that time limit, which is there in that app, as the digitization is the, and AI, as we talked about, is already in the picture, and it is the most important factor to be considered. So these two examples, I think, perfectly fit in terms of, the kind of relation we have with the facility industry, and it can be, as you very rightly said, sir, the examples. So these two examples I would like to quote, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. The Marco has actually completed his operation for the day. I'll come to General Soy now. And, in another place, I was there just last month. So the lunch was on in a session like this. So there they'd given us the nameplates as well. So very smart lady, she said, "You are a major and a general both?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. You got to major to become a general." So I request now the general to give us how he visualizes the way forward. With all that we have covered, we have really concentrated between the facility managers and the security professionals. But somewhere I've also mentioned that the HR is a very important conduit in all this. The security persons, for example, they are here, there, and everywhere. And in any organization, if you don't give them the confidence and you do not monitor them, that organization, whether it's a large hotels, airports, or hospitals, whatever, corporate offices, then the system will not function. It will break down. So I'll request General Soy, with the general in you, to give us the way forward.
A lot of things have already been covered. I'll just highlight those things. Commander Ajay had mentioned of data. Colonel Inderjeet had mentioned of cyber security. So more we use of Internet of Things, the more comfortable we try to become. Everything gets automated, AI, the more cyber threat it is. So firstly, we are looking forward to more automation, more AI, more use of AI, use of everything, like small little things which can take, like Ms. Asha ji had mentioned, that which would have taken times, but with the app they had developed, they could cut down on the time, they could save on the money, and ultimately whatever money saved is the profit earned by the company. So automation is the key, the data build-up is the key, and with the data, how do you solve the problems with the use of AI? How do you cut down on the man hours and the thing which can be done by the computer on its own? Something like, I would say, repair schedule. It can be done automatically. Say after 3 months, this thing need to be repaired. Yeah, after 1,000 hours, this thing need repair. Or maintenance schedule, or demand, somebody demands something. So that automatically the demand is processed. All these things can cut down on manpower, man hours, and improve productivity, improve results, and give a better confidence and better satisfaction to the user. Other thing, with these things, then comes the cyber safety, cyber threats. So naturally, what Inderjeet had mentioned, that is very, very important. We need to also simultaneously work on the what to download, take care of the thing, and because of these two things, we need to train the people, because we need to hire the people of the caliber, same caliber, and also train them. You can't expect somebody with the 10th pass or 8th pass to start using the IoT or start using the AI. We need to have those kinds of manpower, and we got to keep them training, keep updating them with the latest whatever is coming. So that also becomes part of the whole thing. So this is the whole game, and ultimately we are looking at what Rupal Singh had very rightly mentioned, looking at the satisfaction of the people, not on the infrastructure. Ultimately, that is the key area, key result area we need to be looking at, that okay, the patrons, like Asha ji has also mentioned the same thing. If the patrons are satisfied, then that is a parameter which we look at it, yes, we are doing well and we are doing good. So ultimately, that is another thing which we need to think of. And yes, with the security also, we are looking at the public police, people's police. Like private security is now getting into everywhere. We are replacing CISF or police from the non-important jobs. So security is also, like we have seen in the airport, the private security is come into play when we go in the baggage checking, right up to the baggage checking. except the critical areas. Rest of the areas have been taken over by the private security. So they are in an expansion mode, and so is the facility management. Both go simultaneously, and with the expansion, unless we have the data, unless we automate it, we cannot get the results. That's a small thing I wanted to add. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, General Story. Before any questions, because it's a very friendly clock here. Some time back it showed I was left with about 5-6 minutes. When I looked at it after a while, it was showing 9 minutes. Right now it's showing I got 7 minutes with us. So if there are any questions, before I would like to sum up a few salient points. So we would welcome them. Mind you, it's the last session of the day. So the rear rally has to come forward now, and it is you in the rear who have to come up, shoot questions. Okay, I think it's tea time or the awards time, which is going to be the better part of the show. But I would like to just convey a few points which are very important in the industry which we have spoken about right from the beginning of the session. And that is, firstly I would say we must embrace technology and automation. And, therein computerized maintenance management systems, which we call the CMMS. And Colonel Inderjeet has spoken about Internet of Things. Now, they are very, very effective for an efficient facility management, but we have to exploit it. Second is, focus on sustainability and green practices. They are very important. If you don't have the green practices today, India will be left behind. So we got a challenge ahead to move in that front. Then, integrated facility management, again, is very important factor. Integrate these, combining hard services, maintenance, the soft services, the security services, all of them are very important. And we talk about that ESG, environment, social, and governance. They are very important. You have to be very focused in today's world, and the facility management industry is very much focusing on this ESG part. Then is, the collaboration and cross-functional teams are very important. We have spoken about collaboration, but collaboration is really what I said, if the communication breaks down at home, then you got to collaborate with your wife for better times ahead for yourself. And if you're at home, your communication collaboration is very good, then you're moving tiki-bitu when you go to the office. Otherwise, you come back with a bigger face home. So that's the importance of this collaboration and cross-functional teams. All this IT, HR, they all play into it. Now, then is, data-driven decision-making. Colonel Inderjeet emphasized quite a bit on it. They are very important. But when we say data-driven, I would say the human angle, the human resource part of it cannot be behind. And here I would like to give the example of how intelligence or the security part in the human resource fails you if you depend too much on technology. The Israel-Hamas affair, you all know, the Hamas people were working in the houses, domestic houses of the Israelis, and they really knew where the targets are. And with all the underground tunnels coming, some of them emerged from their residential homes to blast them. So the human resource is very important. Whatever be, you can apply any amount of applications on the WhatsApp, use CCTV cameras, but if you're not actively monitoring them, they are no use. In the United States, you see schools shootouts takes place. Then the postmortem is done. You find that the CCTV cameras in a country like that also are not functional. So we talk of our country, they are perhaps not up to the mark where we are, because we are very good in disaster management. They have to learn from us. Now, other is the employee well-being and their productivity. I lay a lot of emphasis on human resource management because if we don't look after our personnel, and then the organizations will not really thrive. And we don't have to look at our own purse, but we should be able to thin our purse to make their purses better, to get better productivity from them. That is, the factor is, if I'm loyal to my guy, he'll be loyal to me. That's the first principle in the military. I have to be loyal to my men to get loyalty from them. But then only I'll be able to lead them into the battlefield, and the same applies in the corporate world. So these are the few points which I wanted to add. I'm still left, thanks to this good clock, digitized clock, it's showing that I'm still left with 3 minutes. So I can again ask anyone if there are any questions. Otherwise, I think Mr. Chopra, Vice President, and our conference producer, Savi Chauhan, will be very happy that we are bang on time. A very good question. And all along, you have spoken what I would say that I think if the audience will allow me to say that we are past masters in facility management and security. We are past masters in it, which we call administration, and I mentioned that. And administration includes all encompassing thing, which I say human resource, discipline. And why I say that? A leader in the army, and when you put on your star, you're a leader because you got men under your command. You got a section, you got a platoon under your command. What happens? You're responsible for this person, for his knowing his job, training him, operational role of his. You're responsible for his promotion cadres. You're going to promote him. You're responsible for his discipline. If he has done a wrong act, the same person, punishes him. He writes his report. Yes, and when you're in peace stations and you come to know that his wife is admitted or his child is not well, you and your wife, you visit them. He knows, they are there to look after me. The guy has got a problem. He wants to go on leave. He puts a request to you. And a good leader says, don't give me any excuses. I got a marriage. So-and-so is very sick. So-and-so's auntie has expired. Just say you want leave. That's the hallmark of a good leader. And I would say that is the wholesome of facility management, because I have to lead the men in the battlefield. And that's why you see what happens in Kargil. You turn the tide. But at what cost? You know it. The coffins came. And I would like to quote here Vikram Batra, "Ye dil mange more." So that is your defense forces here. Thank you very much.